there, big boys, and welcome to my review of One Person Story. Weird sounding name for a game on Nintendo Switch, and also Steam, and I think mobile. It's a decent enough sort of platformer, sort of puzzle game. It's kind of a bit of a weird one. It's only got one button. They get the little character thing moves on its own, and you just have to press a button to sort of control the environment, which thereby controls the ball, and you got to get to the end. 100 levels, which sounds like quite a lot, doesn't it? Except each level takes you, I'd say on average, about 12 seconds. Some of them take a lot longer. There was a few levels which took me at least 15 minutes, to be brutally honest. But it took me about an hour to beat overall. So it wasn't a very long game, maybe a bit longer than that, maybe like an hour and a half. But it wasn't very long, and it was quite, it was not an expensive game. It's only like $3.99, but to be honest, that's still not great value for money. But yeah, it plays pretty fun. It's really quite well designed. The level design is actually really quite good, to be fair. Especially since with this sort of gameplay, it would be quite easy to make it like very sort of random. But it does feel like a lot of the time you actually do have control over what's going on. And there's all sorts of mechanics like teleportation and gravity fields and spikes and all sorts and stuff like that. So there's constantly new mechanics being thrown at you. But my favourite thing about the game was the sort of weird text thing it does on the side. It has this like text that shows up on most of the levels, and it sort of like says motivational stuff like, oh, you can do this. But then it also sort of goes a bit self-helpy, and sometimes it's kind of like comedic. It's all a bit odd, but it's kind of, I quite liked it. It sort of made every level feel a bit more like handmade, so I quite enjoyed. See, that's probably my favourite thing about it, really. I don't know why. I just like the fact like it was always something to look forward to, and the ending was actually quite good, to be fair, which is weird. I didn't expect a platformer to like without a story really to have such an interesting ending, which sort of made me think for a minute. It was a bit preachy at times, I'll be honest, but overall it was good. If the game didn't have that, it would feel like a lot less, I think. So yeah, that's good. Graphics, you've noticed you've probably noticed they're very simple and minimalist, which I guess is fine. It's clearly designed by one guy, or at least maybe two guys, which is fine. I feel like with this sort of game, that's not a big deal. But equally, it would be nice to have actually a pretty looking game, really. But it still does the job. It's just there's a few particle effects and stuff like that, and it runs smoothly on the Switch. So that's all good. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a bit sort of boring, bit sort of what's that film game? Stanley Was Alone or something like that. Yeah, not great, but still it does the job, and I'd rather that than some horrible looking art, so that's fine. Yeah. So overall, it has some really aggravating levels. You've got to keep this in mind, but it's got a good difficulty curve. And I think there was the sort of level 70 like 4, and I think it was. I was stuck on it for ages, but yeah, it is quite a nice little gameplay mechanic, which is expanded on. But it is also incredibly simple, keep that in mind. And the actual game is very short. But yeah, it's quite fun actually, I enjoyed it. So yeah. Thanks for watching, big boys. See you some point in time, and bye.